What is up, good people? In today's video, we're just going to go over a really simple element of Photoshop that everybody needs to understand, and that is masking. I want to go over how it works and how you can use it, and then why it's so important. If you're going to be retouching a lot, you're going to be using masks and your paintbrush almost all the time. So let's jump right into that, and welcome back to Simple Sundays. So masking. So masking is a method of putting a layer on top of another layer and then putting a mask on it, and then the mask affects whether you see it or you don't see it. So there's a lot of different ways to use this. One is like, say we have our photograph and then we want to darken the background. So we put a layer where a curves layer or something goes on top, and then we drop the brightness, and then we try and show the model underneath without darkening the model. So we cut out from the front of the mask and then you can see through it. So this is a very bad example, but here we go. So here's my photograph. Okay, then we want to make a darkening mask, so we put it over the top, right? So this is my really bad example of a mask, but so now you can't see the photo anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this piece to allow this to stay, but then the model isn't affected by it, right? Or say we want to do a photograph, and then we want to change the background color to another color. So say the background is green, like this room. Then we put this on top of it. Now to be able to see the layer below, you got to cut a hole in the layer, right? So where's the scissor? Lucky for me, Michelle has a lot of stationery. Hold on. Now we've got our photo with our changing color layer right on top of it. Now you can't see the below layer because there's no gap in the layer on top. So you put a mask and then you remove the middle of the mask, and then the background will show. So if I had to cut a hole in my top mask, you'd see the bottom mask, but everything where the top is staying will be affecting, and where it isn't affecting is where you've cut a hole in it. So when you do a mask, anything that you see that's white is affecting and black is not affecting. So if you take a mask layer and you paint black on the layer, it'll almost like erase the layer, right? If you invert the mask so there's nothing and you paint white on the layer, that will affect the layer. So we're going to jump into the computer. I'm going to try to show you a few examples of how this works in practice and why it's better than using a paintbrush and an eraser tool, because there's a way to work backwards without doing undos all the time. So we're going to jump onto the computer. I'm going to try and show you a little bit more in depth. I don't know if that helped at all, but that's how I understand it. You've got to cut a hole in the layer, but because you're cutting it on the mask and not on the layer itself, you don't have to do undos. You can just paint the layer back. So we're going to try to go over all of that on my computer, and then yeah, hopefully it makes a little sense. All right, so we are on my computer right now. This is a photo shoot I did with Mia. This video is up if you want to check it out. This is just an edited shot that's like ready to go, but I want to show you how a mask can affect this, and you can use the mask to change it. So the theory would be, let's say we put a pitch black layer on top of this. Okay, so we're going to put a pitch black layer. Now we want to see what's underneath it. So we put a layer mask, then we paint black to minus on the area we don't want to see it. Okay, so now see she starts appearing because we're cutting a hole in it. If you look there on the side, you can see the black layer, the black area is coming off. Now if you want to put some of it back, you flip it, paint white there. Now it's going to put it back. Okay, so that's how it works. Now if you want to do this in reverse, let's delete this quickly. So we delete the mask. Now what you do is you alt click the mask. Now it will be an inverted mask. So you see this is black. If it's not black, you go Control I, it will flip it. Okay. If it's black, we want to paint white onto the area we want that layer to appear. So if I paint here, it's putting black over there, right? As you can see. So the cool thing is now it's black. Flip it, take it away. Okay. Now you're obviously not going to do it like this. You're going to use it in a more practical way. So let's say we want to change the background color and we want to make it more blue. Okay. So we take a layer from this adjustment layer, we're going to add blue to it, we're going to minus red from it, we put some green in there. Okay, so we've messed with the color now, right? Now when you use these adjustment layers, it always puts a mask already there for you, so it's very easy. All you're going to do is you're going to paint black where you don't want it. So we're going to take the white paint, black paintbrush, and we're going to just paint over her skin, so over her hand, maybe over the jersey as well, so she stays nice and warm. Okay. And then you can see that now this layer is only affecting the background. Okay. And if you want it only to affect her, you could flip the mask, and now it's only affecting her, you see. And then if you messed up and you went too far over the background here and you were like, oh no, then you flip the paintbrush and you paint black there and it will take it away. Now you can obviously zoom in and get really intricate here, but this is just, I'm trying to show you what the masks do. Okay, I'm not trying to do a full tutorial here. And then let's say we want to do sharpening, right? So I'm going to use Beauty Retoucher just to make it quicker. So let's put a sharpening layer on. It's obviously too much, so we'll drop the opacity a bit. And now we only want the actually let's leave it full just so you can see the effect. But now this is affecting everything because it's got a white brush, right? So you can either erase it off of the background, or we just go onto the mask and we flip it, so Control I, and then we go into Mia's face and we take a paintbrush. Now we're going to just paint white on the area we want to sharpen. So we're just going to paint it over the eyes here. We're going to paint it over her mouth. And then let's say we paint it over her hair. So now you can see it's only affecting that little area that we masked, right? So that's what you want to do with masks. There's a lot of different ways to do this. You can do color filters or any of these things up here. Let's say we want to do a creative thing. So we're going to duplicate this. We'll go Control U. We'll change the color of this a little. Let's say like that. And then what we'll do is we're going to move this layer over a bit down. So what, I'm being creative here, so I'm going to transform this layer as well. Now we've got two layers that are in different spots, right? Now what we can do is like say, let's say screen. Now we've made this weird thing going on. Then we're going to alt click the mask. Now it's taking it away. Paintbrush, paintbrush, and we're going to paint white where we want that to appear. So say we wanted that glowy like Mia picture to appear here. So what you can see is now there's two of her appearing, like you can see that. Okay, this is probably not the best method to use this, but I just want to show you there's methods. So if you wanted to do creative edits with this, you can. You just got to remember that masking is what you're trying to do, and then you can change this back to normal. You can change this back to whatever, hard light. So this is a way to get creative use out of the mask. And then if it's in the wrong place, you just click back on this layer, Control T, and now you can move that what we just did around, right? And now what you can see is I've put this like double layer here, but I don't like her eyeball there. So we're going to go back onto the mask, paint black on this area, take it away. So now her weird eye is not there twice, but we've got this like effect happening here. Okay, so, and then you can always come back in here, Control U, now you can mess with the color again. So it's very non-destructive. Okay, and then if you want to add it to another area, you can. Here's the best use for it is dodging and burning. There's a few ways to dodge a burn. The one method is using a gray layer, which is not going to be using masking as much, but the other method is using curves. So what we do for dodging and burning is we do new curves layer, we drop it down, so that will be our burn layer. We put another layer, we pull it upwards like this, and that'll be our dodge layer. So now what you want to do is you Control I both of these, okay? And then with a paintbrush, so you take a paintbrush, you take a white brush, okay, so with this one you stay white all the time. And then all you're going to do is on this layer that you're going to make stuff darker on, you just paint white there, okay? And then if you want to make an area lighter, so we want to make an area lighter, we choose the dodge layer, and then we just paint white on that area, okay? So this is how you can create like real contrast on people. I've done this to this picture already, so I'm overdoing it here, but I just want to show you what it does. Do this, we put some in the trees. Okay, so now what you can see is we've got a bit of contrast that happened there. Now you can see this is maybe too dark. So now we're going to go into the dark layer. We're going to take the black paintbrush and we're going to remove it. Okay, so now you can remove all the places you didn't want that. Same with the white. If you want to remove the parts we did, that's how you do it. So this is a good method of using masks. It's just a way for you to adjust something you did to the image on the layer without breaking it, and then just coming back and then removing it and then adding it and then removing it. It's like a very cool method to change the background as well. Okay, I'm going to try to show you another thing. So this is a very long ago shoot, but if you wanted to change the color of that background, we could do something like, let's say this blue. We're gonna, where did my blue go? So we say this blue, we fill the layer with blue, right? Now we're going to go back onto this layer. We'll do the select subject feature. This should do it pretty well. And then once it's selected it, we're going to put this layer back on, click it. Now you see that there. While there's a selection, you click mask. Now it's masked out her and left the background. Now what we're going to do is flip the background, and now we've changed the color of the thing. So now the mask it hasn't deleted it, so you haven't erased it out of here. But which means when you see here where it messed up her arm, you could go, okay, there it messed up, so I'm going to take a paintbrush. I'm going to paint white onto here. I think it's white. So no, I'm lying. You're going to put black onto here because you're going to erase off that layer. So now you can erase the part where the automatic Photoshop function messed up. So yeah, there's another part. It's like missing pieces. So we are going to paint the background back in here. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to just pull in another one. I'm going to take a random screenshot. So this is from one of my vlog screenshots. So let's say that's your landscape, and now you want this mask over there. Then you just delete this one, and now that's the background. So this mask is just a cutout, and then you can also move the mask around if you unlock it, and then you can kind of like move the mask around, but you don't often do that. Yeah, so that's ideally what masks do. Just think of it as a layer on top of another layer. You're cutting a hole in the layer, and then that makes you be able to see what's underneath, right? So it only white is affecting and black is not affecting the image below it. So I hope that was helpful. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned a little bit and helped you understand how masks work in Photoshop. Photoshop is very highly dependent on masks. You're using masks all the time on every layer you're using it, and just understanding it's a bit of a problem sometimes. So we just covered masks today. In other tutorials you'll see we use the mask layer, then it'll make a bit more sense. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Send them to me on Instagram. So I hope you guys are enjoying these. I am trying to make them every Sunday. There will be gaps, like today we're actually busy with the studio, but I'm trying to throw one in. Remember, like, subscribe, click the bell, get notified. If you click the bell, at least YouTube tells you when my video goes up. Smack the like button, leave me a comment. All this stuff helps generate views towards my videos, and hopefully I can make this a job eventually, so I can do non-stop videos for you guys. Anyway, I will see you on the next one.